KF6SYD. Hi, Charles. How you doing?
Hey, KF6SYD, KW6G. Doing fine. You're 5 and 9 plus. I was wondering if this radio was broken.
No, I don't know where everybody is. Usually by 7 o'clock there's people out here talking. I just got up here from dinner, and I was wondering why nobody was here, but you came on right away. I was getting KFS up. I thought maybe, the bandwidth conditions weren't so great, and that's why I didn't hear anybody. But you're coming through very nicely tonight, Charles. So how's everything been with you, KW6G, KF6SYD?
KF6SYD, KW6G. It's been fine. No problems here. Finally got over my cold. I had it for about 10 days, and so we're feeling good this evening. Nothing to really report here except that the solar flux index is way up. It's about 190, and the K index is down to 1, so conditions should be excellent tonight. I don't know what's going on. There was a lot of interest in starting the net at 7 o'clock last week, so I showed up at 7 o'clock and tried to get something going here, but I didn't hear anybody. I really should develop an email list for this net so we can talk offline when we're not on the air and be able to set up net times and things to more coordination. But I'll have to try and get that done. I just go log on QRZ and see if I can catch everybody's emails and go from that direction. Anyway, not much new here. We haven't been doing much of anything. I did a little FT8 work this afternoon and yesterday, and it was kind of fun. Getting back in the swing of things after the holidays. Anyway, I don't have my local real bad QR Mary here this evening. Actually, QR Nancy is a very static thing. I think it comes from my neighbor's boat. He's got a big boat torch in his driveway. I think that's one of those battery maintainers plugged into it. Those things spew out a lot of garbage, and it's pretty close to my antennas, so I think that might be what's going on. Anyways, back to you, KF7SYD, KW6.
All right, Charles. Yeah, it's bad when you got interference around. I've had a high noise level here for quite some time. It's not an objectional sounding. It's just a loud, just a hiss, just kind of a that it's in there with everybody, especially on AM. It kind of is. It makes a noise level that everyone has to get over. That's not really supposed to be there. And I end up using KFS a lot of the times, just to hear people without straining. Well, I'm glad you got over your cold. 10 days. And we're doing the same thing here. I don't know what we had, but it was the wife and myself and our daughter, who still lives at home. And we're just to the place now to where you don't have much stamina. You can go out and do something, and then after that, you just got to sit down, and then when you do, you start falling asleep. And that's not the way we normally are. We don't normally have that low level of stamina that we're experiencing right now. But went out today for a 1-mile hike in a nature trail that they have in Long Beach. Really nice wooded area they have set aside, and there's a nature trail that goes through it. There's a 1-mile nature trail, and there's a 2-mile nature trail. Well, we did the 1-mile nature trail, and by the time we got done with the mile, we weren't walking straight anymore. I noticed I was veering to the left and veering to the right. So we came back home and just had to take a little rest. That's just not the way we normally are. I can just go all day, and I don't have to stop for anything normally. But it's probably about 12 or 14 days now since we first started getting not feeling right, and caught whatever we caught, and all the chills and everything you got at the beginning. But gonna go off to the mountains tomorrow. Gonna go up and get some firewood and bring it back home. I bet I'll have to sit on the couch for a while after that, but I'm just gonna go do it anyway, because just tired of sitting around. Let's see if anyone else has shown up, Charles, and anyone else want to join us tonight, Charles and myself, for the DrakeNet. Please give KW6G a call, KF6SYD.
WB6MWL.
WB6MWL, KW6G. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm tuned up here. I think I am. How are you copying, over?
And over, you're fine here on the Drake TR4CW.
Sounds good.
And Steve was about to say.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm putting out power. I have the, didn't have the watt meter turned on the PEP position here. So I thought I wasn't putting out much, but I am. Yeah, we're on the TR7 driving the L7 here. And I'm copying you pretty good. I didn't look at the S meter, but you're pretty good copy. And Steve is, of course, louder, over.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. How do you copy Jay?
Oh, Jay, you're very strong. Very strong here. Yeah, I know what it's like to have the switch. There's a hundred switches and knobs to turn all around me, and if they're not all in the right place, things don't work right at all. They all have to be in the right place. So that's a little hard to do. Sometimes you miss one, but no, Jay, you're sounding really strong into Long Beach. I did not look at the S meter, but it's very loud and clear over here. Over.
Okay, yeah, I just looked at the S meter. You're 25 over here on the TR7, so I don't know how accurate this S meter is, but you're real strong here too. And I think Charles was around S9. I'm not. I gotta look when he talks the next time. So yeah, it was very cold here this morning. They say it's going to warm up next week. Was it cold there in Long Beach, Steve?
Yeah, well, KF6SYD. Yeah, we had a lot of wind last night. I saw on the weather report that there was supposed to be, at 3 in the morning, there was supposed to be a lot of wind. Of course, I'm asleep at 3 in the morning, so I lowered my antenna down. It's up on a mast, and if there is a lot of wind, it damages everything. But I can go for months sometimes without touching it. But I lowered down the radiators and the apex down and just left the mast standing up last night. I got up this morning, everything was blown all over the place. All the wires all wrapped around the hatch on the roof and everything, so it must have really done it while I was sleeping last night. And it's been about 40 degrees, 42 degrees every night. Tonight's maybe just a wee bit warmer, maybe 45, so that's about how it's been over here. And Charles, how's the weather where you are? Is it getting pretty cold at night? KW6G, KF6SYD.
Yeah, KF6SYD and the group KW6G. Yeah, this morning it was 31 here, and that's cold for places. And it was last week one day it was about 30. And it's been going up and down, but I understand there's a big cold front moving in from the northeast down to the south, the northwest down to the southeast, and it's going to create havoc across Wyoming and Colorado. They're going to have blizzard conditions, and then there's going to be some lake effect stuff going on up around New York and Pennsylvania, coming off of Lake Erie or off the Great Lakes. So there's going to be heavy snows and bad weather all over. So I think it's going on right now. So we're just feeling the effects of that this far south. So things have changed. It's winter in January. And they had an avalanche up at Lake Tahoe yesterday, up around someplace near Squaw Valley. Or in Squaw Valley, one of the the, I guess, ravines that come off of Squaw Valley had a big snow avalanche, and I think one guy got killed, I think. I'm not really sure. Haven't heard too much of the details there, but that happened yesterday. Yeah, and okay, on your cold there, Steve, that's going around. I got it, but the wife did not. I went to a Christmas party with the family, you know. And some of the kids, you know, in their school, they got this stuff that's going around. So I guess I got it from them. I haven't been around anybody else. I don't know who else they get it from. So, but when that happens, I get it. You know, I'm an asthmatic, so I cough for 10 days or whatever. I didn't have a fever. Didn't have COVID. Didn't have a fever. Didn't have aches and pains. I just got I got kind of a laryngitis for a day, and I couldn't even talk, so I didn't get on the Drake West Coast net that week. That was 2 weeks ago, and then I got over laryngitis, and I got the hack, and you know, it just lasted for about a week after that. Things are better now. I drink lots of tea and honey, and that sort of kind of helped alleviate it for me, anyway. And so that's, you know, honey has a natural antibiotic in it, so I think it helps. Afraid to get places where it shouldn't get on me, anyway. So that's about it for me. So we'll pass it over to Jay. Anybody else wants to get in here, just break in. It's JW6D, Drake West Coast Net.
Yeah, I stood by there a minute. I didn't hear anybody, so I don't know. It's almost 7:30, I think. So maybe somebody will show up here. Did you move the net to 7? That's why I got in here a little after 7. I thought you moved the net to 7, or am I wrong? Over.
Well, actually, you're right. Everybody wanted to move it to 7 last week, so I agreed to it. But the message may not have got across to everybody because we were losing the band at the end of the net yesterday, the loudspeaker. That's why we wanted to do it. Typically, the band goes long about 7:45. You know, around that time, between 7:45 and 8 o'clock this time of year. And I expect good conditions tonight. I think, you know, you're 5 and 9 plus there, Jay. And so is Steve. And good conditions this evening. Solar flux index is up at 190 this afternoon, and the K index is 1. So, I mean, things are looking really good here for DX and man. So we got the NVIS, but I don't know how long it will last. It might last until 8 o'clock or beyond tonight because the solar flux, but I'm not sure. So that's kind of what we left last week, was to try to get here a little earlier and try and get the deck going before we lose everybody, because WA6JK has Kevin and Gilroy. He was moving in here 40 over S9, or well, maybe not 40, 20 to 25 anyway, on this meter. And he disappeared, he up and disappeared on the last round of the net. I could hardly hear him. I had to turn on the SDR. So, over to you there, Jay. WV6MW, okay, W60.
Okay, yeah. Any other check-ins? I guess not. Okay. Yeah, I thought you had moved it up, so that's why I thought, I looked and it was after 7, so I thought I better turn the rig on here. And I was doing something else, and I thought I better get on here. And that's when I heard you and Steve. So, very good. Yeah, you were 10 over 9 that time, Charles, so the band's pretty good. We'll see how long it lasts. Over to you, Steve, KF6SYD, WB6MWL. B6MOCL.
Well, here somebody else has joined us. Hello, Skip. Welcome to the group. It's Charles and Jay and myself, KF6SYD. Skip, go ahead and take one, and you can give it to me when you get done. Go ahead, K6LGL.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Good evening to you. Hang on there a minute. Here we go. All right, now I think it'll be a little bit better. K6, very good. I just walked in the shack. Finally got here. Hey, welcome to winter, guys. Not too much, see what's going on there. And Smitty, Lisa, Charles, and all the others on board. Over to you, Steve. KF6XYD, KU6 River Green Light.
Anybody else joining the group before I take my transmission? Nothing heard. All right, Skip. I hear you just fine. Over here in Long Beach, got a little crackle in there with you, and then it cleaned up. So I don't know if there's a loose connection on something, or if it's kind of just crackly, and then it stopped. It cleaned up just fine. But you've got a nice signal over here. And I don't know, I cannot remember if I was part of the group last week on Thursday night. That could have been. I remember there was one evening Julie said, well, aren't you going to go? Don't you have a net or something you do tonight? I said, I'm not doing no net tonight. I felt really crummy. And it may have been a week ago tonight that happened. So, it is not easy to predict what the band is going to do, and I didn't know that anyone had wanted to move this one till 7 o'clock. Last night on the AM net, we started at 8 o'clock, and about 8:30 the band started getting kind of nice for everyone. But who would have ever thought that was going to happen? And rarely do the same thing happen 2 nights in a row. So if you guys want to start it at 7, I'm here tonight, so I'll know about it. Next week I'll be here if that's what you guys end up wanting to do. Starting at 7 o'clock is just fine. And yeah, Charles, I had laryngitis. I would wake up with it in the morning. Like 3 mornings in a row, we wake up with laryngitis, and about an hour or 2 after that, it would clean up, and then I could talk straight again. So I had forgotten about that. And I did see on the news about the avalanche at Tahoe, and I do remember they said there was one fatality. I don't remember the details of that. I just assumed that somebody got buried and they didn't get dug out in time. But they had video. I'm sure y'all watched the video on TV of the group digging in the snow to reach the people that they were able to save from the avalanche when it happened. So that was quite a thing. That's one thing I would never want to have be around is a snow avalanche and have one of those chasing after me and get buried by one of them. That's something I could sure do without. All right, I'm trying to keep the order straight now, and I'm not able to do it. I believe that Jay turned it to me, so that means it should go to Charles and just slap me in the back of the hand if I'm wrong. KW6G in the group to take it to KF6SYD.
Yeah, KF6SYD, KW6G. No, you're okay there, Steve. By the way, I checked the log. You were here last week, so probably a week before. That's why you remember the net was going to start a little earlier this week. So we'll get there eventually. We'll pass the word to everybody. I think we'll start the net at 7 o'clock next week, guys. So if you could pass the word on the other vintage nets, then everybody will get the message. Then we'll get going a half hour earlier at 7 o'clock instead of 7:30. Because the band does tend to go out. Now that's interesting that the band came back and everybody was mellow about 8:30 the other night. Got no idea why that happens. It happens once in a while, but usually when the band goes long, it stays long till morning. So I don't know. It is what it is, and we deal with it. That's why we have the SDR and all that stuff to help us. That SDR machine has been really helpful on our Saturday morning sideband net, especially during the doldrums of the sunspot cycle. We really, that saved us a lot of headaches and problems trying to get relay after relay on everybody checking in. So that's a good tool to use, that's for sure. Anyway, we're on the Drake TR4CW RIT this evening with a Shure 444 microphone and the outboard VFO, not using it currently, and running it to the NFET half wave up about 30 feet. So, and good that you lowered your antennas on the wind situation there. That Steve, that can be disastrous if you have too much stuff in the sky when the wind comes along. And I remember, 45 years ago, when I was living at home still before I was married, I had a 2-element quad up on a kind of a windmill tower that I had built out of clear 2x2s, lumber, out my dad's old garage, which is a pretty big old garage over in El Cerrito. It was up about 30, 35 feet, and one day, just a hellacious wind came along in February, and it blew the whole thing, slid it right off the garage roof and into the yard. That was the end of my 2-element quad, and that was the last directional antenna I had because I ordered a KLM 4-element Yaki, and before I put it up, I met this girl I got married, and that was the end of that. So I still got the Yankee in the garage, but it's never been out of the box. So KT-34A, that's a good antenna, but I just haven't had a chance to put it up because they won't allow antennas where I'm out here right now. So I get by with the NFET, but you got to play your politics. Anyway, I'm going to pass it over to Skip. I think Skip is next. And Skip, you're about a 5'6" here. And Jay and Steve are both 10 over. So good man, Steve. Go ahead, Skip. K6LC on the group, KW6G.
Okay, thank you, Charles. KW6G. And Drake Group, K6 Little Green Light. I think you'll find that it sounds a little bit better now. Steve, I made a few minor adjustments, so that will probably help a bit. Okay. Well, propagation is liable to change a little bit as we are now getting, the daylight time is getting on the opposite path, the solar winter solstice is on December 22nd, and after that, the daylight days are going to start getting longer. So probably staying with same time, if you want to keep 7:30 as an option, or 7 or even 8 o'clock, either one. There's no guarantee that one is going to be much better. And I agree with the majority that for the AMI Net Wednesday group, the 8 o'clock is probably the proper time. And those who can't make it to the 8 o'clock, that's why we have the 7 o'clock, we have 1 hour. So that gives a chance for a lot of people to check in, to take care of what they have to do, and for those who can stay for the main part of the net, and those who can't. That's the purpose of that 1 hour check-in. That helps some people. All righty, I'm not sure if it goes to Jay or to who. I'll pass it to you, Jay, and then you determine. Good to hear you. And then let's take a standby in case somebody else shows up for the Drake net. I still have my R4A with the B front end, and I still got to do some work on my TR4. So I do have a couple of pieces of Drake equipment, but not the TR4 is not working now, so I'm on my alternate, my old 902. So, over to you there, Jay, and if I'm out of phase, then please correct me, K6LGL. Yeah, I didn't hear anybody else. K6LGL, WB6MWL. Yeah, you sound good, Skip. It sounded a little better than when you first checked in there. Maybe I think you said you made some adjustments, but yeah, you're over 9 over here. So, good copy. And Yeah, there was no wind here. I didn't crank the tower down. I thought about it, but I didn't crank it down. And this tower and beam, my Mosley beam, will take quite a bit of wind. The only antenna I worry about a little bit is the 40 and 80 doublet here, but it seems to stay up okay. But we don't get a whole lot of wind here usually. And yeah, I saw on the news a couple trees went down in Long Beach, Steve. And one unfortunate guy had a real nice pickup he'd been working on and put a lot of money in, and one tree there fell right on the bed of his pickup. I can't remember what neighborhood there in Long Beach that was, but I felt bad for that individual there. A large tree. I guess it was a city tree right in the parkway that came down. So, yeah, I guess the wind must have been pretty strong to take big trees like that down. So, let me turn it back over to you. And yeah, I need to get out of here before 8 o'clock. So, I'll probably stay in here for one more. And then I'll sign out. KF6SYD, WB6MWL.
Jack, Kings and 9, late arrival.
Kevin, welcome. Yeah, and I heard another voice out there, so other station wanting to check into the DrakeNet, please call now.
Yeah, WA6JUS.
Okay, John, you're there. I think that's all there is. Kevin, go ahead and pick it up. And welcome to the group, and please turn it over to John, JUS, and then I'm next, and here I am taking charge. It's really Charles supposed to do this. I'm sorry, Charles. Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I just got back from dinner, so I don't know who's all in here. But good evening to everyone, and this is Kevin and Gilroy. And so with that, over to JUS. John, WA6JUS, take it away. This is WA6 Jack, Kings and 9s.
WA6 Jack, Kings and 9s, good deal. Okay, well, I wonder if George Runyon is on tonight. I have a coffee that Phil gave me at the plant office. Yeah, it's actually the quiet one. It's actually a nice opportunity to put up a sideband transceiver out at the American Legion Hall out in Alpine. I'm out there a lot in the evening now. And there are a couple of ham operators around. So combine a couple of symbiotic activities. Who knows, maybe there'll be a fair Drake transceiver or something. You can never tell, huh? Hi. Back to net, WA6JUS.
Yeah, WA6JUS, KW6G. Good evening, John. Welcome to the net. My name is Charles, KW6G, Kilo Whiskey 6 Golf, located in Clayton, California. We're about 30 miles east of San Francisco. Name is Charles, Charlie Hotel Alpha Romeo Lima Echo Sierra, and I'm usually the net control here for this evening. Anyway, welcome, and hope you can check in on a regular basis. I don't hear you too much. In fact, I don't think I've ever heard you here on the DrakeNet before, but it's possible. We get a lot of guys come and go on the net here. Anyway, I don't have too much more to offer for this evening. Let me give a rundown on signal reports here real quick. And good evening to Kevin. I forgot about you there, Kevin. Sorry. KF7SYD is 10 over. WB6MWL was 10 over. Skip, K6LTO was 5657. Kevin, WA6JKN wins the prize with 20 to 25 dB over S9. Very nice signal, Kevin. Hope it holds up. Not like last week where it just went kaput and all of a sudden you were gone. And John, WA6JUS was a solid 5.9 for this evening. So, Let's go one more round, gentlemen. We've been here over a half hour, and I think we've covered everything we want to cover. Just wondered if there's anyone else who wants to check into the net before we go for the final 73 round. This is KW6G. Come now, please. Not hearing anyone. We'll go in the same order. We'll start off with Steve, and then Steve over to Jay, Jay to Skip, Skip to Kevin, and then Kevin over to John. And I guess we'll call it quits for a week. For the week after that, we'll see how things go. So go ahead, Steve. KF7SYD is KW6G.
Okay, Charles, thank you. KF6SYD on the Drake T4XB and listening on the R4B and a Kenwood TL922 amplifier, so I don't have the Drake. Don't have the Drake amplifier. It's a Kenwood, but still a lot of the ways toward having a Drake set up here. Let's see. I did not see, Jay, I looked on my Channel 7 app, and there's no picture of the tree that crushed the bed of the pickup truck. I figured it would be there, but they didn't cover that. So this wind that we had last night, it was dead calm when I went to bed, and it was pretty dead calm when I got up this morning. But sometime in the night, as predicted, I saw it on the forecast. It really blew, and I was ready for it. And when I got up this morning, I was glad I did what I did, because you could tell that it really blown things around, scattered everything around on the roof, all the window line, everything wrapped around the hatch, and it takes a bit to do that. And Charles, interesting story about the mast, the tower that you made when you were before you moved away from home, and you still have the Yagi in the box. You still haven't had a chance to put it up yet after all this time. Maybe someday you'll get a shot at it, but it sounds like you'll have to move in order to do that, because you're in a restricted neighborhood for that kind of thing. Fortunately, I never ended up in a restricted neighborhood, and that's before I ever thought, you really don't want to let that happen to you. Later, when I got into ham radio, I was glad that we didn't buy that house down the street we were looking at that we had all the restrictions. Those people that live in that development have all the rules to live by that we don't have here in the regular part of the city. So from now on, anytime if I ever move out, that's one of the main things, not to be in that situation. But a lot of people get by with a lot of things, and Charles, you're sounding so good. Your signal is just great here in Long Beach with what you're able to do in your situation. I don't have a whole lot more, and I've taken up quite a bit of time. Welcome, John, WA6JUS. No, George has not checked into this net tonight. We haven't heard from W6YEC so far. So maybe he could come straggling along right at the end. We'll see. Sometimes things like that happen. And Kevin, it's good to have you here with us. A nice signal here into Long Beach. You didn't take much of a transmission, so looking forward to hearing what you've been up to. Over to Jay. Almost can remember your call letters, and I can't find it on the WB6MWL. I'll get it. Just takes time for it to sink in. Jay, over to you. KF6SYD.
Okay, Steve, KF6SYD, WB6MWL. Real good. Yeah, signals are holding up here so far. So you never know. Like Skip says, some nights that can, by this time they're gone. The band's gone long. But tonight seems to be holding in. Well, I'll make this my final, and good to hear you, John. Yeah, Charles, John checks in quite often on the Swan Net on Saturday night. and I believe he's running a rather rare rig there, a Galaxy. I don't know if he's running that tonight or not, but he has a Galaxy 3, I think it is, there in San Diego. So that's the story, and I'll say 73s, and yeah, I forget what channel that was that I heard that. I might have been Channel 9 News, or I can't remember, Steve, but it was a very nice Chevrolet pickup that it went right across, the main part of the tree went right across the bed, so there'll be some work to fix that. Anyway, I'll say 73s, and hopefully we'll hear some of you on Saturday night. So, over to you, Skip. K6LGL, WB6MWL.
Okay, thank you very much, Jay. WB6MWL and the Drake Group, K6 Little Green Light. Yeah, I plan to be there Saturday and run the Swanet. And that keeps going, and you know we keep a nice group together. Yeah, George has been pretty consistent with that net, but you know he's got other duties besides amateur radio. I'm talking about YEC side, George. So, and I've been troubleshooting my two Globe Kings. I got a 500 transmitter deck and a supply, but I don't have a modulator for it, and I still have my old 400, which I upgraded to 811 modulator there, and power supply and whatnot, and 572Bs in the final. So the output of my 400 is about the same as the 500. So we'll see which one is easier to repair. I had a blower, not a blower, but actually it'll be a fan to cool the filament seal of the 4400 and the Globe King 500 there. You just don't run that tube without cooling the filament seal. So, you know, when you get the filament where it's running over 10 amps, 5 or 6 volts, you're talking 60 watts or a 1400-watt filament, things get a little warm. So, okay. Okay, good to hear you in there, and good evening to Kevin. You're loud and clear here. John, you're doing well there with the Galaxy from Claremont Mesa there. And your signal's so pretty steady there, Charles, so you're doing well there from your part. And fine on the problems with the antennas. Luckily, in this part of town, I've been here so many years. I've had this property since 1975 there. The city just, I think, stopped bothering me there. And so it hasn't been a problem. But I try to have antenna systems not too objectionable to the neighborhood. And for a while there I had antennas, you know, all kinds of stuff, especially VHF, UHF, and microwave. So, but they're rather small and sometimes a little bit less obtrusive. All right. Let me make sure I'm on the frequency here. Okay. So I've been passing through Jay's, but whoever goes, I'll kick it back to you, Charles, and then you decide whether it goes back to Kevin or to John or whoever else. And I'll stay in till the 73 round. So KW6E and the group, K6 Little Green Light.
Okay, K6 Little Green Light, the group KW6E. Well, this is the 73 round. I think we're about at it here. So I'm going to pass it over to Kevin, then Kevin to John, and then John back to me, if you would please. Go ahead, Kevin. W6JK and KW6E.
Okay, Charles, thank you very much, and thank you for running the net, as you always do, week after week. Great job there, by golly. Anyway, yeah, I got my daughter, my youngest daughter, and ex-well, we all went out to dinner and just got back a little bit ago. That's why I'm tardy, you know, late to the party here tonight. And, we're getting ready for a bridal shower tomorrow. We're going to have something like 40 people here that confirm their attendance for tomorrow. So as soon as I finish setting up the chairs and this and whatnot tomorrow, I'm going to get kicked to the curb and probably go out and do some shopping at the hardware store and maybe visit a few restaurants throughout the day. So they are anticipating rain, possibly. So that's going to put a little crunch on the party. Normally the overflow and stuff like that goes out into the backyard, and so I'm having my big patio area covered. So we'll have that completed tomorrow and have it ready for Saturday, so it'll be all covered if it does sprinkle a little bit. It's supposed to get a little bit of rain. Anyway, so much work to do, that's for sure. And I was going to give everybody reports. Oh, yeah, the one I want to give is to Skip. Skip, you're 20 over S9 direct, and for the first time, I think you were stronger direct than you were on KFS. KFS, you were just shy of 20 and probably about 15 or something like that. And direct, you were almost right at 20. So whatever you're running tonight is, with the propagation and whatnot, is doing a wonderful job for you. So, Mel, good to hear you in there, Steve. And
the tornado watch.
Yeah, tornado watch. Okay, so that's for the property there in Texas. Okay, we get the warnings, but it never happens, and it hasn't for like 200 years. All right, so with that, I'm going to pass on my very best to 73 to everyone, the best to you and your families, and until next week, be safe, be dry, and have fun. And over to you, John, WA6JUS. WA6JKN.
Thanks, Kevin. Okay, well, this is WA6JUS, and sure enough, Galaxy 300, and just dropped into my lap from a member of Mishibeya, a nephew of this tenant, and yeah, it had to be worked on to draw it back. I need to get ready for buying up the hillside tomorrow. So I'll just listen and stay 73 now. Back to that WA6JUS.
WA6JUS, KW6G. Very good, John. Thanks for joining us this evening. Hope you can make it again on a regular basis. Anyways, I'd like to thank everybody for participating in the net this evening. And I'll pass along my 73s at this time. And we'll try and start the net at 7 o'clock again next week. We'll see how it works out. If it doesn't work out too well, then maybe we'll go back to 7:30, at least for the winter. And the days are getting longer, but they're not that much longer yet. So we got another few weeks to go here before we're going to be seeing, I think, a significant difference in propagation unless Old Soul decides to bless us. And I think he's blessing us this evening because the solar flux index is up at 190, so it's looking really good. I'm only hoping it could be this good for the DX contest next month, because that's the one contest I really focus on during the year. Anyway, you guys take care. 73s to everyone again. Thanks for stopping by. Your continued participation and support is always appreciated, of course, and we'll see you guys next week. With that, I'll pass it up to Steve, or Steve, maybe he's still here. If he's not, Jay, pick it up, and or Skip or somebody, and you guys can have an unorganized round table. Or what do they call that? Round robin, I guess. Anyways, you guys take care. 73s, and we'll see you next week. This is KW6G closing the net and returning the frequency to anyone who wants to use it. Good evening, guys.